Hi lads, and welcome back to another Rainbow Six Siege video here on my channel. Sorry I've been gone for a while. My last video was about probably a week ago? Like I said, sorry I was gone. Over the weekend I went to the Overwatch League Grand Finals in New York. It was really cool. Spitfire won it. Go Spitfire, aces high. Anyway, today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking into the mindset that you need to have when you jump into a ranked game, or any game for that matter, of Rainbow Six Siege. Now it is important to note that a lot of these tips are not exclusive to Rainbow Six Siege. You can use these tips in any game you want to play and any game you want to get good at. It's a great mindset to be in when trying to improve at anything. Now, you might be thinking, what does that mean? What is the proper mindset that I need to be in when I'm playing a video game? I don't really think that matters as long as I'm having fun, right? And to a degree, you're right. If you're a very casual player who just wants to have fun with Rainbow Six Siege, then by all means, do whatever you want, do whatever makes you happy. I recommend you stick to casual because most of the people playing ranked want to win. Other than that, though, like I said, you can pretty much do whatever you want as long as it makes you happy. But that's not really what this video is about, and it's not really who this video is directed to. If you're just a casual player, this video probably isn't for you and doesn't have all that much bearing on your playstyle and what you want from Siege. This video is more for the more serious player who is interested in ranking up and becoming better at the game. So what does that entail exactly, you might ask? Well, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to adopt a mindset that's going to help you grow as a player and improve over time, evolving your playstyle, and it'll help you rank up. The first step towards developing your new mindset that's going to help you rank up in Siege is developing good communications, or comms. I've been all over the ranked ladder this season. I've even been as low as bronze 1, and I've now settled in mid to high gold. And one big mistake that I've seen people using all the way from bronze to high gold is that people will not talk. Now, this I can't even do it justice explaining how helpful it is to your team if you talk to them. Over the course of a full game, your teammates talking to each other about what's going on, where people are, and what's happening during the match, it will lead to so many kills, and it'll win you so many rounds over time that may have been lost otherwise. A good tip for this is to just ask your teammates at the beginning of the game if they have microphones, if they're going to be talking. I know it can be a little awkward at first. Nobody's talking. You just got into the game. Many times people won't talk unless someone else does first. So just take that initiative and be the first one to talk. You'll be surprised how many people on your team will talk back to you if you just do it first. Quick side note though, there is a whole other subset of people who don't talk. However, if you say, hey, does anyone have a microphone at the beginning of the game? They'll say, oh yeah, I have a microphone. And then that'll be all they say for the whole game. If that's you, cut it out, man. That doesn't count as good comms. What's really important is not that you're saying, hi, I have a mic, but more so that you are making those callouts. Like I said, letting people know what's going on. That's what's going to help you win the game, not just saying, oh, I have a mic. That's not fooling anyone, all right? Now, if sometimes that doesn't work, and it won't all the time, sometimes people will just be stubborn and they won't talk to you. It's just how it is sometimes. Even in that situation where your teammates aren't talking back to you, it can still be highly beneficial to talk to them and just assume that they're listening to you, because more often than not, they are. Just giving your callouts like, oh, hey, Vigil killed me on the stairs, might help someone get a frag, and it might help you win the round. While we're on the topic of talking about your team, it's a good time to address another very common pitfall that ranked players will often fall into. This is the pitfall of an elo hell mentality. Best way I can describe this to someone who doesn't know what elo hell is these are the people that are in your game who say, oh man, well I should really be in a high platinum rank, but what I am right now is I'm just stuck in silver because everyone on my team is just a thrower or a troll. Now this simply just isn't a valid excuse, because guess what? For every thrower and troll on your team, there's just as many on the other team. And in fact, there's actually one less, because we know that you aren't a thrower or a troll, so that brings your team to 4 potential throwers and trolls, and the other team has a potential of 5 throwers or trolls. So in theory, you should actually have more throwers and trolls on the other team. Now don't get me wrong, that's not saying that there won't ever be a time where there's more throwers and trolls on your team. For instance, you might have a string of 3 or 4 unlucky games where there's a lever on your team and you just can't do anything about that. You might lose all of them. And that's really unfortunate, but however, believe me, over time, that does balance out, and more often than not, where you are right now is where you should be, or very close to where you should be on the ranked ladder. But don't let that get you down, because your rank right now is no reflection of who you are and what you are as a player, and it's no reflection at all of your potential to grow and improve at this game. Another thing that often goes hand in hand with these players who say they're trapped in elo hell is that they'll make a lot of excuses. Be it, oh, this team has a hacker on it, you're walling, this guy is an aimbot, or oh my gosh, our Thermite is just so bad this game, he's throwing. Well, that's not to say, once again, that these things aren't sometimes true. However, once again, it comes down to, it happens on both sides, and it does even out eventually, believe me. But when you tell yourself these things, like, oh, our Thermite's throwing, I couldn't do anything this game. It wouldn't matter what I did, I couldn't carry hard enough. Well, when you say those things to yourself, it bars you off a lot of times from improving at all or taking anything from that game. When you say these things, like, I couldn't win because I couldn't carry hard enough, 99% of the time, that's not true, and you can always do better. Just because you lost does not mean it was due to some extenuating circumstance. In every game and every situation that you win or lose, there's something that you can learn and take from that situation. And if you are immediately placing the blame of the situation onto something else and someone else, you're not going to be the one to improve from that situation. What's important to do is think about the one thing across all of your games that you can affect. And that's going to be yourself. You can't affect whether the other team's hacking, whether your Thermite's throwing, or anything else. All you can do is play to the best of your ability and improve. An interesting idea when you're trying to maybe not blame quite as many things on your teammates' bad plays or whatever, is to always think of everything that happens in your game as your fault. Every time you lose a round, it's your fault. Doesn't matter how it happened. If your Thermite jumped off the cliff and he just died, that's your fault. If he just gets spawn peeked, your fault. You should have had that guy. You know, you'd be surprised if you try and make up for everyone else. Sometimes it'll just work and you'll end up carrying a game that you before thought was just impossible and you couldn't do it. Now my final point today is going to be the importance of adapting to your situation. Every game of Siege is different from the game before it and the game after it. Your team may have an Ashe one round that's just popping off, just headshotting everyone, nobody's safe on the other team, and you can just sit back and enjoy the ride. And other times, the enemies have a bandit that's tricking every Hibana pellet you fire, and you just can't get through. It's important to make mental notes of what's happening in each round and why each round is going in the favor of the team that it does. Now, many of you probably do this already, and you think about it maybe after the game, like, oh man, their bandit was really good. I don't know, he was just shutting us down at every possible opportunity. But it's important to take that a step farther and really implement what's going on in each game during that game, not after and not before the next one. Let's use an example here. Let's say the other team's running a bandit and a mute. They've been doing it for 3 defense rounds in a row now. We're late into overtime and you don't know what to do. Well, we know that they've been bringing a bandit and a mute. Well, what can we do to stop that? We can bring a Thatcher and we can just EMP those fucking car batteries. As a closing thought, just don't give up if one game or one round doesn't go in your favor. Things just don't gel on your team and you end up losing. It's always the wrong idea to just start going off the handle after it's been one round of a game, and it'll really bring your team mentality down and it'll start to tilt you, and there's just no reason to be tilted over something like that. Even if you end up losing the game, it's fine. It's just one game and you can always win another game. Just get back on that horse, re-queue, and don't let one rough patch stop you from improving. Now, if you follow my guide here and you think like this when you go into your next ranked session in Rainbow Six Siege, I can promise you that over time you will become a better player and a better teammate in this game. And maybe, just maybe, you can eventually reach that elusive Copper 3 rank. Anyways, good luck, and until next time, I'm out.